There we go.
Hello.
Checkmate.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Say something, Jack.
Based alert. Based alert. Uh-oh.
Well, hello, and welcome to the inaugural webcast from. No, hang on. Stop that. I don't like it. Hello, welcome to the inaugural webcast.
You mean podcast?
I did it again.
Just keep it going.
All right, we'll keep going. The inaugural podcast from Mesta Meadows. This is Ed Crowley. I'm one of the owners of Mesta Meadows. Terry Crowley is the other owner, who is not here now. She's flying back from South Carolina. And also in the room, I have Jack Lawler. Jack.
What's up? My name is Jack Lawler. I'm actually the real boss around here. I kind of run the show, kind of keep things going, get the plans in motion, handle the finances, everything important.
Okay, so that is Jack, was a former intern. I'm not sure what his status is at this point, but no, seriously, Jack does great stuff. He is an intern with us. He actually lives here at the ranch, and he is from St. Louis, Missouri, right?
I'm from St. Louis,
and
Kirkwood, South City.
There you go.
Over.
Yep, good old Irish boy. So Jack,
we got two Irish boys in here.
This is true. I am Irish too. So. So give you a little bit of real quick background on Mesta Meadows. What our goal with this I keep calling it a webcast, with this podcast is just to share a little bit of our experiences. For me, you'll hear a little bit of the insight or the views from someone who's invested in, is running a ranch. From Jack, you'll get to hear the side of someone who's working on a ranch and has those views from his internship here. So you'll get to hear both sides. This is not a big professional production, obviously. This is being done in our office here. Nothing fancy, but we'd love to hear your all's feedback. Hope you'll like it. Share it with others. And we are going to have at the end a little... I guess you'd call it a contest for someone to name the podcast. We've thrown some ideas around, but we'll talk about that. But just to get started and give you a little bit of background, we are a ranch located on the eastern edge of the Ozarks, about 40 miles west of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. We are at the very southeast corner of the Ozarks. If you go another 20 or 30 miles, you fall into the flat land of the Delta. So we are really at the very edge of the Ozarks. We have a
very small crackhead population in this area. Very small.
What does that have to do with anything? Anyway, so
small town Missouri, that's kind of the stereotype. Oh, it's all just a bunch of meth heads. It's like, no, it's actually not.
No, it's not. No,
it's a lot of pleasant people,
mm-hmm.
A lot of smiling faces. It's totally different than what the stereotype.
Different than what you expected.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. It's a lot of great people. Really, just good country folk. We have a lot of people in ag and lumber, different, really kind of natural resource extraction activities, and that's what our area is like, and it is a great place to live. I love it here. I'm also a professor at Southeast Missouri State. Teach entrepreneurship. And then I spend all my time I can on the farm. We have cattle, both Angus cattle and Scottish Highland cattle. Scottish Highlands are the big horned, furry ones that are friendly and kind of look like a yak. Really, really neat animals. We have chickens, we have ducks, we do pasture raised poultry, we do eggs. We do lamb. We raise lambs both for consumption. We also raise lambs for wool. And we also have a dairy flock that we milk. And if you don't know, dairy milk is amazing. It's really sweet. It's not like goat milk. It's very high fat content, low casein content. And because of that, low lactose content, because of that, folks, about 85% of the people that are lactose intolerant can drink sheep's milk, according to studies. So it's really awesome stuff. We'll talk about that. Maybe dedicate a whole podcast.
According to the studies that I did the other day in my bedroom.
No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. We're talking academic studies here. All right.
I thought it was pretty academic.
Oh my gosh. So this is gonna be a challenge. So anyway, you're getting this pretty unfiltered. So we'll see how it goes over.
I think they like that. I think people will like that. I think they'll appreciate that.
They'll either appreciate it or think we're really crazy.
True.
But either way,
True.
I guess we'll see. We're having fun. That's the main thing.
That is right.
So we also do, in addition to the sheep and cattle and ducks and chickens,
Pigs.
we have pigs. We do pasture raised pigs.
Pigs suck. They're the worst animals on the face of the planet.
Yeah, they're tough. They're well, they're a pain.
And ham is totally overrated.
Well, I don't know. Bacon isn't.
Bacon's not. Ham.
Maybe.
I think ham is. I think ham. It's kind of mid.
Okay. Not as good as lamb or lamb burger. No,
Not even close.
Oh, or leg of lamb. Oh my gosh, leg of lamb. Ask Jack sometime about my leg of lamb. Not now. We'll go into that another time. Oh, it's amazing.
Why is it called a hamburger if it's not made of ham? Do you know that?
Because it comes from Hamburger, Germany. That's where the original.
No
yes.
kidding.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. So anyway, or at least that's what I've heard. So that's a little bit about us. We do have a farm store, a retail store on our farm called the Mason Jar Store. We also
Our handsome cashier works there.
Are you talking about when
Tessa
works there? Or
Eddie Gangsta, of course.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, maybe. We also participate in farmers markets in Cape at the Cape Riverfront Farmers Market during that season. We have retail stores in St. Louis. Local Harvest is one of our customers. The Cary Cottage is one of our customers. We have St. Louis City Greens is one of our customers. We also have Celebrations Restaurant. Very, very nice, excellent restaurant in Cape Girardeau. White tablecloth kind of high-end restaurant, and they are a great customer. We love them a lot. Thank you, Dwayne, for working with us. And I have had...
Shout out, Dwayne.
Yeah, there you go. So we have a pretty diversified operation. We are a farm-to-table operation. That's what we do. We raise stuff, give it a really happy life here. Pasture-raised, antibiotic, hormone-free, and they have, one day that ends a little differently, but for the ones that do go that way. But they have a great life here. We love our animals, and that's kind of what we do. So
we're a pretty big deal.
Oh, okay, Jack. So, Jack, what's your favorite animal on the farm?
My favorite animal are the donkeys.
Oh, we do have donkeys.
The donkeys are the coolest things on the planet. They like to beat each other up.
Yeah,
but they're so low maintenance, and they're super friendly to people, and they have a cross on their back, and that's some Christian lore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Supposedly from when Jesus rode them into Jerusalem, and that's why donkeys have a cross on their back, which is kind of cool. So yeah, the donkeys are cool. We also raise Great Pyrenees livestock guard. I love the Great Pyrenees. We have puppies right now. Jack is actually getting a puppy. Yeah, he's got one named Patty.
Named Patty, after the greatest Irish saint and my brother.
No, your brother's a saint, or you're talking about Saint Patty?
Oh yeah, well both. They're two different people, believe it or not. I did not mean my brother on the sainthood.
Yeah. Okay.
Yet.
Oh, okay.
Never
but he's working towards it.
I hope so.
Okay. So, Jack,
uh-huh.
grew up in the city. Whatever made you think about coming to the country and doing this farm gig thing? COVID.
Yeah.
Because?
Well, if you lived in like an urban area, or like even a suburban area for that matter,
mm-hmm.
You get all your stuff, all your food pretty much from like a Sam's Club or a Walmart, like a big, big company. Or you go to your local stores and you buy from there. But you don't like grow your own stuff. Very, very few people I've met even have gardens.
Right.
They don't want to do the maintenance or, there's a lot of regulations, so people can't have chickens in their backyards in these areas or
Mm-hmm.
anything. So you're totally reliant on grocery stores and food stores to give you your food, right?
Right.
Well, then what happened was COVID hit. They had all these regulations going around, and they said, okay, if you're an essential business, you can stay open. Well, that didn't include like my family's business,
Right.
our restaurant or the Irish store. It didn't include any of that stuff, even though we sold food and
Right.
caused all that. But Sam's and Walmart got to stay open, and you could only go into Sam's and Walmart and get your food if you followed the rules exactly to a T. And if you didn't follow the rules, then you're SOL and you don't get any food. Which it's fine. I'm not trying to complain about that. But what I'm saying is that would wake a lot of people up and say, okay, I have to get my own sense of agency here. I have to be able to produce and not
Mm.
just consume because you know that those rules were light. Like
Yeah.
being real, like standing a few feet apart and putting a mask on. It's really not that bad, but it's the principle.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what if it does get bad?
Well, and there were a lot of food shortages
Yeah.
at that time. For example, with beef and pork, anything that was processed. I mean, let's put aside how healthy it is or isn't. Just from uh, a logistics flow, anything that's processed in a high capacity, big volume like meat plant, uh, suddenly they had to space people out 6 feet instead of the normal
So
2 or 3 feet.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they lost half their production capacity. And so what did you have?
Wow.
Shortages, right? So when you have a really concentrated supply chain, which is what we have, I mean, I think the latest stats I've heard are for beef. I believe it's 3 companies that do 70 some % of the processing of beef in the U.S. Sheep, it's even more concentrated. It's I think 2 companies that account for almost 80% of the processing. So that means that all of our volumes going through these very high volume concentrated supply chains. As opposed to we used to have. You would have butchers on the local shop. You'd have farmers taking their food into town and selling it in town and supplying the grocers, et cetera, directly.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't happen anymore, or not like it used to. And so we have a very centralized versus what we used to have, a very distributed supply chain. Now, it gives us cheap food, but there's a lot of risk
Tons.
to that. And also you kind of don't have, I mean, we've seen all these issues with, salad recalls and what was it? What I think broccoli they've had some. I mean, where they've had contamination because the food gets touched by so many hands going through this highly commoditized food system. So I think there's a lot of concern about that. What goes into the food? How are the animals fed? And I think a lot of people like this idea of just being able to go out and actually see where their food's coming from.
Yeah.
See how the animals are treated. See, which by the way, you can always come visit here.
That's right.
We have Jack does a lot of the tours now because people like him a lot. I think they like him a lot more than they do me. So Jack gets to do a lot of the tours. He does a great job of that, and yeah, it's a great way. Come out. We invite you to come out and see how the animals are raised and what we do to give them a healthy, happy kind of environment. I mean, your food's as good as it's grown. That's what it really comes down to, and you want to be able to see how it's grown, right?
Yeah. If you just want the easiest, most convenient stuff, we have a system that's willing to give you that.
Yeah.
But if you want, stuff that's actually good and secure, and well, then you gotta work for that stuff sometimes. Maybe you pay a little bit more. Maybe you actually grow it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you work for them.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to do that. My brother, he was making a joke before I came out here and started this internship because I grew up in the city. He's like, "What kind of city dweller goes to the country?" And he was like, "Dude, like you have no idea how crazy it is to switch. Like think about just the water system. Like you're a total slave to our water system. And he was like joking when he said that. And in my mind, I'm like, absolutely right. Like, I'm definitely kind of a slave to these systems, like these comfort, ease of use. You know, if you totally rely on them, and if they wouldn't work, then you're, out of luck. I mean,
Yeah.
what's different than
Oh yeah, yeah.
there's no agency there. There's no freedom.
So you're learning stuff as you're doing this.
I'm learning a lot of stuff.
Yeah. What's been your biggest takeaway so far? I mean, you've been here what, going on your third month now, right?
Yeah. Ed does not have an off switch.
As much as some people might like for me to have one.
Going and going and going. He never stops. Never stops. It's totally foreign to me.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's
good though. I mean, I feel like you need it to run this place. Like,
well, you have to. I mean, I think most farmers I know don't have much in the way of off switches because you just kind of have to. I mean, animals have to be fed, and animals having problems lambing or calving or whatever. You can't say, I'm going to come take care of that later.
I'm off tonight.
I'm off tonight. You just have to deal with it. And, it's kind of like today. We were out there today and we were going to put up a couple of corner posts where we're putting in a new gate. And, thought, well, this will be an easy job. We'll just go. We're going to, cut up some old telephone poles to make posts and stuff. Well, it's snowing out now, and it was sleeting a little bit. So we went out and we started working on it. Of course, this happens to be on one of the ridge fields, which, if you don't know the Ozarks, well,
it's just clay and rocks and like an inch of dirt, and everything else is just clay and rocks, and it doesn't move. Even like a tractor auger wouldn't go through the ground.
Yeah, so
it was insane.
We hand dug the hole. So anyway, that took us longer. We ended up going and getting some at the co-op, some corner posts, and so 3-4 hours later. Oh, by the way, while we're doing it, we know some cows are looking like they're a little thirsty, but their water is there, and it's hooked up. Wise and I, and we'd go look at it, and the float was stuck, so they were low on water. So you had to go take care of that situation and fix the float on the water. So it's just stuff like that. So you constantly, it's the biggest challenge on any ranch, because if on a ranch you're dealing with livestock. If you're a quote farmer, you're dealing with crops. And I've always worked with livestock my whole life. Grew up on dairy and beef cattle farm, so I'm a livestock guy. Don't have much of a green thumb, but with livestock, they can't tell you what's going on with them. They don't come up to you and say, "Hey, Ed, I'm hungry," or "Hey, Ed." Well, they will kind of tell you when they're hungry. Yeah, they'll talk to you, but they can't say, "Oh, my my head hurts," or "Oh, I'm this isn't working right. The water is not working." What you have to do is you have to watch them. You have to every day. You have to look at them and just spend time watching and seeing. Is one of them acting a little off, not hanging out with everybody else? Are they all standing around the water, kind of acting like they're thirsty? I mean, you just have to watch them. So.
And you're actually not supposed to stand right behind them and then scare them, because then they'll kick you, and that really hurts.
Does that really hurt?
It actually really hurts.
You're telling us that from personal experience?
Personal experience.
Yeah. Did you say ouch?
I don't know if I said ouch.
Okay.
That's a little bit.
Okay, it's a family podcast.
That's a sissy move right there. I probably just internalized it.
Oh, I see.
Used it as motivation for the next day. I just became the greatest intern because of that. It was kind of like a comeback story.
It is. Well, he's had some amazing stuff he's done on the farm.
Couple W's, couple L's, a little bit of both.
We're not going to talk about the L's. We're just talking about the W's.
Yeah, that's right.
He does a great job.
Always declare victory. Rule number 1.
Yes, that's right. So that's what we're doing. So we're gonna be having podcasts like this. We'll pick different themes next time. So yeah. So next
time I'm gonna quiz Ed on Gen Z lingo.
No, please don't, like because I have no idea.
Skibbity, based.
No what cap. Is this? What is this?
Chad. Stuff? Ed's a Chad. People don't know that. Ed's a Chad.
And see, I told him he was being ornery today, and he said, What is honorary? What's that?
They're gonna think you said honorary.
No, honorary. Honorary. It's a word. It's a vocabulary word.
And I asked him if he
Honery.
knew what an onomatopoeia was, and he looked at me like I had 4 eyes.
And I did. So, and
that could be a new thing.
And I are college educated, so I don't know. So anyway, we're going to do this kind of chat back and forth. We'd like you to do a couple of things for us. One, tell us if there's some topics you'd particularly like to hear about. We'd love to hear those. To help us name the podcast. I mean, we've thrown stuff around. I kind of like the
wisdom and enthusiasm.
Wisdom and enthusiasm. We'll let you guess which one's wisdom, which one's enthusiasm. I don't know. Day on the Ranch. I don't know. We need a good catchy name for it. If you guys have any great ideas, share them with us.
We could do a podcast where every episode we both drink some Guinness.
We could. We could. I don't know where it would end up at, but
I feel like those would get fired up.
You think so? Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. We'll put that on the list.
Oh, we're definitely going to be talking about Clarkson Farm.
Oh, we're
going to have a whole episode. Once we finish, probably the second season, we can do like a halfway recap.
Okay.
And just riff about him.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's an awesome show. I love that show. But anyway,
guy's the goat.
Yeah.
Jeremy Clarkson.
So,
you're like the American version of him.
Am I?
I think so.
Well, okay. Well, except I don't have the big tractors and all that. I mean, I don't have
You don't have a Lamborghini tractor.
No, I don't have a Lamborghini. That's not.
But listen, it's not the size of the fight. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Yeah. And that old 4020 John Deere has some fight.
Hey, I love my 4020 John Deere.
That thing has fight.
Yeah, don't even. Yeah, it's great. It's a great tractor. So, tell us what your ideas are for topics, for the name of the podcast, and share our podcast. Like it. We love that.
We're PG-13.
We are PG-13. I will keep him PG-13, no matter how hard that is.
Ed's actually the vulgar one of the two of us.
Not
you
true.
Wouldn't believe it.
Oh, not even true.
He's always just cussing me out.
Oh, yeah, right. It's not
saying terrible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. So anyway, we hope
they're gonna think we're the weirdest people ever.
No, they're gonna think you're weird, but yeah.
They're gonna be like, this guy puts up with him.
No, we just have fun. Hey,
that's funny.
Well, we hope you guys have a great day, and let us know what you think.
Peace and love.
This is Ed and Jack.
Peace, love, Jesus.
This is Ed and Jack signing off. Have a great week, guys.
Let's go.
Bye.